When you want to start, you tell us. Hello, everybody. Today is the 8th of October. I'm here with one of the some of the members of the legal team. We just emerged from the closure of proceedings in the case of Nnamdi Kanu for today. The story is not going to be too long. It's very short. The prosecution made a motion, an application to adjourn this matter because the Nigerian Medical Association did not file the report that the court mandated it to file on the last adjourned date. And that report, the kernel of that report is actually to advise the court whether Nnamdi Kanu is fit for trial, or continuation of trial, and whether he deserves to be transferred to a hospital, i.e. the National Hospital. So that report was not in, so for that reason the prosecution made a motion, an application to adjourn the matter to another date, and the judge granted the application and adjourned the matter to 16th October.
So on the issue of medical counsel, yesterday medical counsel sat on the issue that has to do with Professor Aj, and when I got the information, I went to that place because I've written a petition against the DSSS doctor, the one that never examined Nnamdi Kanu, and wrote a report. That was a couple of years ago, and nothing happened. Then I also wrote another one against the doctor that never examined Nnamdi Kanu, but had the audacity to depose 37 paragraph affidavit, countering the report of Professor Aj. But surprisingly, they left to my own petition and be treating another issue. I went there, confronted them with it, so they succeeded in intimidating me and harassing me with a petition against me at the FPDC. But that one is a different ballgame altogether. Now to the President, Mr. President, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, please, as a matter of urgency, direct Attorney General to discontinue this funny charge. This charge is embarrassing Nigeria the more, and the more they kept on applying for adjournment. I know that they must have advised you, telling you that they don't have a case. I heard them saying. So in order to protect the integrity of Nigeria, please allow them to discontinue this particular charge, and so that Nnamdi Kanu will continue with his agitation. Address all those issues that gave rise to the agitation. Everything will calm down. Anything short of that, if Nnamdi Kanu is released, he's expected to continue with his agitation. That is the naked truth. There's no going back. And all those people that are dancing around you, praising you, they are deceiving you. They are making your government unpopular. We are the people that are helping your government, telling you the truth. Attorney General will not tell you the truth, of course. No, don't touch me. Attorney General will not tell you the truth, and then person will not. We are the people that will tell you the truth. They don't have a case against Nnamdi Kanu. Of course, you know that had it been that Nnamdi Kanu is from the north or from the southwest, he will not be here today. They are doing him because he's from Igbo. Nobody should touch me. Allow me to express myself. It's my right. So Nnamdi Kanu is suffering this thing because he's an Igbo. He's from southeast. Those of you that are in the House of Assembly, Senate, bench warmers, will watch what is going on. At the appropriate time, we will tell you people that yes, the masses are watching you. Thanks and have a nice day. Yes.
And we are saying that if they like, the government of the day should apply for record of proceedings so that they will realize the frivolity of the charges and the evidence already before the court. There is no reason for this prosecution. All the decisions of the court ought to be reviewed so that they will know the frivolity of what is happening before the court. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, all lovers of freedom. Please take a listening to what I'm saying. Nigeria is a country we all love and we want to love. But we cannot love this country unless this country begins to do equity, begins to do justice, and begins to do fair play and fairness to every citizen of the country. Chief Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu went into the Biafran Civil War because of injustice. Now, Ralph Owazulike went into agitation for Biafra because of injustice. Today, Nnamdi Kanu is fighting the same injustice. And let me tell us, even if Nnamdi Kanu today stops today, there will be 10,000 other Nnamdi Kanu out there willing to take up the fight. And I must tell us that even my own children know that we are first of all Biafrans before we are Nigerians. Nobody can take that from us. We are first of all Biafrans before we are Nigerian. Just like you are Odudua before you are, or Yoruba before you are Nigerian. Just like you are Arewa before you are Nigerian. Nobody can take our identity away from us. So let Nigeria know this and know peace.
They should not manipulate the reports, because already we have already had the reports before they came, and when they examined Nnamdi Kanu, they even dictated more more inmates that even the previous doctor could not even see. So that when they are writing their report, they should not manipulate it, because we already had the report before even the actual report they are going to bring.
People do not understand where Nnamdi Kanu is coming from and why the man has rejected every deal that will jettison the restoration of Biafra by the Nigerian government. The Nnamdi Kanu has refused to sign those documents, have refused any form of endorsement or inducement, or anything that will compromise the Biafran struggle. And the intelligence report is having it very clearly, and that is why he still remains in DSS custody. But what surprised many is how the federal government under APC now has come out to be manipulating the already tense situation currently now, signaling that at this point in time now that we are documenting the process of that, what led to the coming in of Omotosho as the judge, James Omotosho as the presiding judge, nominated by the APC government, when all the leaders of the legal team rejected to appear in Nnamdi Kanu's case, because they said very clearly that Nnamdi Kanu's case have no evidence, and he is should not be able to preside over such matter that has no evidence. That what Nigerian government actually did was to sideline and oppress a voice that stood for the reality, and a voice that stood for the liberation of people, not only Biafrans alone, but Africa. And it is becoming very clear to millions of Nigerians today that Nnamdi Kanu, who has remained the icon of freedom, for a reference point, no matter how you look at it, and he has said it very clearly that we don't know what will happen, but there have been signals, there have been warnings that the leaders of this country has made it very clearly, just like Daduma came out clearly to say that if it wasn't Nnamdi Kanu, maybe the whole Nigeria would have collapsed under Islamic conquest. I'm talking about T.Y. Daduma making that statement. We are seeing another prominent Yoruba son, former president, former military head of state, saying it very clearly that he would definitely leave Nigeria, because from that report we gather that nothing will actually remain, and that nobody should hold him responsible because he has already warned Nigeria, because they do not know, Nigerian intelligence has not been able to crack where Nnamdi Kanu is coming from, who is behind and who is not behind. Nations that are powering him or not. Nobody has been able to crack that. And for where he was able to get his intelligence report has remained a mystery. And the Nigerian government and the terrorist politicians in Nigeria are already in disarray, because of what is going to happen, and there's pressure in Asura currently that even though Bola Ahmed Tinubu might be pretending over the reality, but it has become very clear that anything happens to Nnamdi Kanu by their invitation, then Obasanjo is saying, of course, they should count him out completely, because he would just disappear from this country, he would just leave this country completely, because he has an intelligence report from global communities, from what leaders that what happened to Nigeria. They are just watching development on Nnamdi Kanu every day, and the African lawyers themselves have come on and twice Nigeria. We saw the ones coming from Gambia, Zimbabwe, Ghana, and all that. Even the delegates from Kenya has also mounted pressure on the government of Nigeria and the Chief Justice of the Federation, including the presiding judge, to allow justice that Nnamdi. They were in the court in Abuja. They were out there. They saw all this. They were watching to see how Nigerian government is going to manipulate this. Even though I don't want to have issues with Sore on this matter. Because I know definitely that Nnamdi Kanu will be released. If Nigerian government feels otherwise, that Nnamdi Kanu will not be released, that he will die there, then we will now tell the world of what transpired, even though they are already watching. There are consequences of what we are talking about, that if you cannot defend the people, allow the people to defend themselves. That's the message. Now they are busy today, enjoying the ledgers with, celebrating, doing all manner of festivals with terrorists. those who carry guns physically. Imagine a sitting governor meeting terrorists with more than 20,000 Okada bikes, all of them carrying guns, and they are in a meeting with the governor, and nothing has happened. Today, we are seeing what is happening in Kwara, we are seeing what is happening everywhere in the world, but still, the Southeast governors, nobody has come out to condemn the statement credited to Parliament that IPOB is a terrorist organization. It's quite unfortunate that it's coming from him, and it means that clearly he has taken a decision aligning with the Hamas, aligning with terrorist organizations in the world, like his representative in the just concluded United Nations General Assembly, where the Vice President went as far as defend the Hamas in Israel. But today, they have less than 72 hours to agree to that agreement. It is going to backfire. It must backfire. And Nigeria will answer questions to the killing of Christians, of Igbos in Nigeria, marginalization of pressures of this entity, and Britain will not be able to save Nigeria. I can tell you convincingly that this time around, Britain cannot stand for Nigeria, and Britain will not be able to defend the disintegration of Nigeria. And that is what is happening today. And if that angle and it collapses, then the next focus is going to be here. And we are already seeing the signs there. I can tell you that the Obasanjo himself has put down his own opinion, and nobody will say that he did not notice. Forget all the paparazzi about 2027. Forget all the paparazzi of what is going to happen. Forget all the paparazzi, of what the politicians are actually playing, whether election is going to be good or not. That is left for them. But what we are saying is that it is enough is enough. The killing of over 500,000 Christians in Nigeria has become a threat to the global community, has become a threat to the Biafran. And by the time this thing goes unchecked, that's why Donald Trump, look at the United Nations and the shake his head and say these people are not doing what they are supposed to do. Yes, conflict resolution. There's already a set down rules and regulation. When we come and talk about self-determination, then why is the United Nations actually keeping quiet? It's a criminal organization, and it should be. It has to be reformed. That's what Donald Trump is saying. Because if they are actually doing their work, they don't need to put pressure on United States government. They don't need to put pressure on what leaders. They don't on the issue of aid and conflict that has spread to the extent that it has become uncontrollable, like what we see that's happening in Gaza right now. Before it gets to that level, these are things, aims and objectives of the United Nations to go in and solve the problem. As simple as that, the world will come closer to peace. But unfortunately, they choose Arab warning, they choose bullying, they choose manipulation, they choose oppression to continue to manipulate the process in existence where God has given man dominion over this country. That man should enjoy peace, enjoy it, without any reservation. That is the game we are seeing today. But the direct message, that is coming very clearly from powerful Nigerians like Danjuma and Obasanjo today signals that the Nigeria might be heading in towards uncertainty and that will come to a point that it will be consumed. Whether Nnamdi Kanu, you release Nnamdi Kanu today or not, whether you manipulate, you can see what the chief judge, some legal luminaries and heads are saying about the Nigerian judiciary. You can see the revelations everywhere. You can see how corrupt the judiciary has become. How manipulative. But what I'm saying at this point in time, these things they are doing, these institutions of democracy that have finally collapsed in Nigeria, not by the making of an Igbo man. These are the people that have been in government for 60 years. The woman is not there. He has not gotten involved anyhow by omission or by commission. But still, we are seeing a collapsed institution. Judiciary and INEC has become a threat. The Nigerian military is being manipulated towards Islamic. You can see what they are negotiating. Then all we wanted to do is to conquer the Igbo land, take their resources, then manipulate the process, and the Nnamdi Kanu will die. And